There is only one person in the entire Torah about whom we know the very exact date of their passing, their yahrzeit. That, of course, is in this week's Parsha Masai, where the Torah tells us explicitly that Aharon HaKohen passed away on the first day of the 5th month, the first day of the month of Av. I believe this has enormous significance to try and teach us what is the antidote, the solution to the challenges throughout Jewish history of the month of Av. We all know Misha Nichnas Av Ma'atim B'Simcha, says the Mishnah in Tanya, when we come into the month of Av, we lessen our simcha. It's the most tragic time. Both temples were destroyed on Tisha B'Av. We know that is a difficult time. And we also know that the temple was destroyed, we know from various Talmudic pieces, because of an overzealousness for truth and inability to find space for other people, be it Sinat Chinam in Masechet Yoma Daf Tet, be it following Shurat HaDin and not Lifnimi Shurat HaDin, as we spoke about last week in Masechet Bab Metzia, and over passion and zealousness for truth and not finding space for shalom, space for other people. This, I believe, is exactly why the Torah tells us that Aharon passed away on this day. For Jewish history and for posterity, it is the character of Aharon HaKohen that we need to study as we enter the month of Av. Because we all know that Aharon HaKohen was the genius of peacemaking. He had an incredible creative ability to take the most distant people who could not let go of their own personal truth and their rebels with other people and somehow bring them together. We know how the Mishnah says in Masechet Avot that we have to be like the Talmidim of Aharon, says Hillel, Ohev Shalom, V'rodev Shalom, Ohev Tabriot U'Makarban Torah. He dedicated his life to pursuing peace. And the Avot Rabbi Natan says in this Mishnah, famously, that Aharon was such a genius at peace that he knew that in order to create peace, sometimes, as the Gemara says, mutar l'shanot mipnei shalom. Indeed, one can sometimes smooth over the truth and round the edges a little bit in order to bring people together. We know how Aharon would go around the camp, finding people who could not get on with each other, and somehow be able to convince each one that the other person wanted to make up with them, and how desperately the other one wanted to make up, and they just... And he would facilitate a meeting between them. And Aharon would go around making peace between people, letting people live with their personal truth and leaving that aside and somehow bringing hearts together. Because Aharon knew that ultimately what Hashem wants, more than anything, is for his people to simply be able to get together. And may we all, as we begin the month of Av, up to the terrible destruction of the temples, may we focus on the midah of shalom. May the character of Aharon HaKohen be emblazoned in our minds to follow his legacy and his yahrzeit of being peacemakers, of ultimately knowing that what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants is for people to get on with each other. Shabbat Shalom.